In a small rural town, a struggling single father takes in a soaked, lost young woman during a thunderstorm, never realizing she's the estranged daughter of a billionaire. What begins as a single night of kindness turns into a life-altering experience for both the father and the girl. When truths are revealed, hearts are healed, and destinies intertwine. The rain was relentless, pounding against the tin roof of the modest house at the edge of the town. Thunder rolled across the night sky like an angry drum, and the wind howled through the trees as if nature itself was in mourning. Inside, the house was dimly lit, warm despite its age and wear. Daniel, a rugged man in his early 30s with kind eyes and rough hands, tucked his 7-year-old daughter Mia into bed. "Is the storm going to break our house, Daddy?" Mia asked, eyes wide with fear. Daniel smiled and kissed her forehead. "No, sweetheart. This old house has stood through worse, I promise." Downstairs, Daniel stirred a pot of leftover soup. He leaned on the counter, rubbing his forehead, weighed down by thoughts of unpaid bills and missed rent. His wife had died 2 years ago, and since then, life had been a quiet struggle. A sudden knock on the door startled him. He grabbed a flashlight and opened the door to find a young woman standing in the rain, soaked to the bone, her hair clinging to her face. She looked frightened and exhausted. "Please, my car broke down. I don't know anyone around here. My phone died. I just need shelter for the night," she said between shivers. Daniel hesitated. Letting a stranger into your home wasn't easy, especially when you had a child inside. But something in her eyes reminded him of someone. Maybe it was desperation or loneliness. He stepped aside. "Come in." Chapter 2. A stranger in the house. Sierra had never spent a night in a place like this. The wallpaper was peeling and the furniture was old, but the warmth, both literal and emotional, was overwhelming. She dried herself in the bathroom and emerged in borrowed clothes Daniel found, his late wife's hoodie and a pair of sweatpants. The next morning, she woke up to the smell of pancakes. She walked into the kitchen to see Mia laughing as Daniel flipped pancakes in a frying pan. "Good morning," Daniel greeted. "Morning," she replied, suddenly feeling shy. Mia beamed. "Are you going to stay for breakfast? Daddy makes the best pancakes in the world." Sierra nodded. "I'd love to." Over breakfast, Daniel tried to figure her out. She spoke eloquently, had polished manners, and used phrases that hinted at expensive education. But she was clearly trying not to talk about herself. Later, he offered to help tow her car to his small garage down the street. "It's no big deal," he said. "Just trying to help." Sierra was surprised. She had met so many people with wealth and status who wouldn't lift a finger for others. And here was this man, who had almost nothing, helping a total stranger. Chapter 3. Secrets Behind a Smile. That night, Sierra watched Daniel read to Mia, both of them snuggled on the couch. She smiled softly, but her heart ached. She thought of her own father, powerful, distant. Ever since her mother died, their relationship had turned cold. She was expected to follow in his corporate footsteps, but all she ever wanted was to feel loved again, not managed. Mia brought her a crayon drawing. "This is Mommy," she said. "She's in heaven, but Daddy says she still watches us." Sierra's eyes welled up. She must be very proud of you." Mia hugged her without warning. "You smell like flowers. You can sleep here forever." Sierra laughed through her tears. Chapter 4. One day becomes 3. The storm had knocked out power lines in town. The mechanic shop that was supposed to send the tow truck was backed up for days, so Sierra stayed. She helped Daniel in the garage, swept floors and sorted tools. They talked, laughed. She learned that he once wanted to be an engineer but dropped out after Mia was born. Too many responsibilities, too little time. "You gave up your dreams for her," Sierra said one day. "No," he corrected. "I just changed them. Now my dream is to give her a good life." That night, she sat on the porch, watching stars blink to life above the trees. Daniel handed her a mug of tea. "Storm's finally passed," he said. She looked up. "But I'm not sure I want to go back." Chapter 5. The Truth Spills. Mia was playing hide-and-seek when she stumbled upon Sierra's bag. Her ID had fallen out. "Daddy," she whispered, running to him, "why does her card say Langford?" Daniel read it. "Langford Enterprises." His heart froze. That night he gently confronted Sierra. "You lied." Sierra took a deep breath. "I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you. My father is Richard Langford. He owns half the tech companies on the West Coast. But I didn't come here to be a Langford. I came here to be me." Daniel said nothing. Finally he replied, "You were never anything but you here." And we liked that version. Chapter 6. The Father's Dilemma. Back in the city, Richard Langford was spiraling. His daughter had been missing for days. He barked orders at his assistant, hired private investigators, and stayed awake every night with regret. When Sierra finally turned her phone back on, there were dozens of voicemails. One played. "I miss you. Please come home. I was wrong. I'm just a father who's scared he lost his daughter forever." Sierra cried in silence. Daniel sat beside her. "He may not know how to love you right, but maybe he's trying. Maybe he's broken too." Chapter 7. Goodbye. That hurts. The next morning, Sierra packed to leave. Mia tried to hide her suitcase. "Don't go," she said. "I have to, sweetheart, but I promise I'll come back." Daniel walked her to the door. "You'll be okay?" "I think so," Sierra said. "Thanks to you." He handed her an old umbrella. "Storms pass, Sierra, but kindness stays." Chapter 8. The Return. 1 month later, Daniel received an envelope. Inside was a handwritten invitation to an event at a city hotel. Against his instincts, he and Mia went. To their shock, Sierra was on stage, dressed in a sleek blazer, speaking with passion. "Tonight, I want to honor someone. Not a CEO, not a celebrity, but a man who had nothing and gave me everything: shelter, hope, and the reminder that love lives in the simplest places." She turned to Daniel in the audience. "You didn't just save me from a storm. You reminded me what—" Chapter 9. New Beginnings. After the event, Richard Langford personally thanked Daniel. "You reminded my daughter who she is. I owe you more than I can repay." Daniel shook his head. "Just be the father she deserves." A month later, Daniel was hired to maintain vehicles for Langford Foundation's outreach programs. He kept his garage, but finally had stability. Sierra visited often, sometimes with her father, sometimes alone. Mia now called her big sister. Epilogue. The house was still modest. The wind still howled some nights, but laughter always filled the rooms. One evening, Daniel stood on the porch watching Mia and Sierra chase fireflies. He smiled. Sometimes it just takes one night of kindness to change everything, and sometimes that kindness comes full circle, wrapped in love, found in the unlikeliest places.